So on to Sunday now. It looks like an absolutely brilliant day of action over in Ireland. Obviously, Punchestown and Cork. You ride at Punchestown and again have another lovely book of rides of what's been declared with your name on it so far. Anyway, it looks like it's going to be a good day. So I'll start with the first of them. Obviously, John Durkan is the main race of the day, but we'll start with race 3, the handicap hurdle. Auckland is who you ride in that. Unseated over fences last time, but was second over hurdles prior to that and goes back hurdling on Sunday.
Yeah, it goes back over hurdles here. It was probably a little bit unlucky when second in Punchestown. He just idled a little bit in front. I think we'll slightly adjust tactics a little bit. And I think off a mark of 105, Auckland would have to be very competitive in this handicap hurdle. He unseated. It was a bit unlucky to unseat the second last over fences the last day, but hurdling in his game. And I think he still has a little bit up his sleeve off this kind of mark.
Brilliant stuff. And the mare's novice hurdle race 4 again looks like you've got another good chance there. Bantown Girl only narrowly beaten on hurdles debut when you rode her.
Yes, I think Bantown Girl has a definite winning chance here. She was quite unlucky in Fairy House, met some trouble in running. I'd like to think if I had that race back again, she would have won. And she's coming in here in what's quite a competitive mare's novice hurdle, but I don't think there's a particular standout horse. Choice of Words for Martin Brazel won very well in Galway on its first run over hurdles and had been a decent second to Grangie in a mare's bumper at the Punchestown Festival last year. She's probably, the best of the rest. The Getaway Star sets a decent standard. She's fit and she's well, but was well held her last couple of runs. I'd imagine they might adjust tactics there. And Ali K has a mark of 1:23 at the top of the field, but looks quite exposed here. I think Bantown Girl will run a big race in this. Choice of Words is probably the improver.
Excellent stuff. On to the John Durkan now. This looks like an unbelievable race. It's sort of the who's who of Irish racing over the last couple of years. Anyway, it's got some brilliant horses in it. You ride Ken Boy, who you won the Irish Gold Cup on last season, and you've taken the last 4 rides, so a good partnership struck up with him so far. But how do you see this playing out? There seems to be stars all over the field and possible different angles of how it could go.
This is probably as competitive of a chase that's been run all season. What way will it go? I'd imagine Allaho seems to be best when ridden forward. It's his first run of the season, but I'd imagine he'll go forward. Envoy Allen, this is probably Envoy Allen's stiffest task yet. Cheltenham was going to really answer a few questions on whether he was the horse people dreamed of him being, and he departed early. It was a no-show at the Punchestown Festival last year, and he won a race that there wasn't much strength and depth to at Down Royal. So to see what Envoy Allen can do here, it'll be proper interesting. He's going in against Allaho, a runaway winner of the Ryanair chase last year. Asterion Furlonge, Grade 1 novice hurdler, bolted up in a handicap at the Punchestown Festival last year. Fakir de Derrys won an Aintree last year and came back with a decisive win in the Clonmel Isle. I was second to him that day, and he really picked up and got away from me in the last furlong and a half. He has that fitness edge as well, that Envoy Allen and Fakir de Derrys are 36 and 24 days since their last run. All of Willie's are 200 days plus. So it's Envoy Allen's race to lose, but I still think there's so much more that he's going to be tested. Don't forget about Tornado Flyer down the bottom. He's going to be probably double figure odds, but seems to run a great race. His comeback run every year. He was second in this last year, ran Min very close that when the race was run the fog last year. So while it's competitive, he's still a lively outsider. Manila Times probably wants further. This is going to be a stepping stone, maybe to some stay-in chases. Mellon just fell apart really last year. He needs to get back to his best, but definitely does pop up when you least expect it. Kemboy, 2.5 is probably going to be on the short side for him here. And Janadil just needs to get back to his best. Had some jumping issues last year, but rounded off his season with an okay second to Energamine at the Punchestown Festival. Like Franco de Port, also Grade 1 novice chase winner last year. There's so much strength and depth to this race, but I just can't wait to see Envoy Allen and Allaho lock horn, see what they can do. I'd love if Kenboy was coming down the straight with them.
Definitely. How do you think you'll go about riding Kenboy? Like you say, it's probably a little bit shorter than ideal, but will you try and catch Envoy Allen with his jumping and make that a bit more vulnerable with a bit of pace on, or will you try and ride him just to get the trip?
I'd imagine Kenboy will probably go forward. Allaho will go forward. Asterion Forlonge likes to be pretty much on the pace as well. Envoy Allen is usually ridden for a bit of light in the first 3 or 4. Fakir the Dairies, a drop in and follow. Tornado Flyer will follow. Mellon will be mid-division. Franco de Port will follow. It's going to be a strong pace angle in this. The main fancies are going to be on the front end, but do they cut each other's throat and open it up for the closers late on? Envoy Allen, I'm sure Rachel Blackmore is going to try and find, or she's going to use her fitness edge to find out Allaho. Rachel knows Allaho very well from winning on him in Cheltenham last year as well. So this is going to be proper exciting. There's going to be a lot told. There's a lot of answers will be got from this to the season coming ahead. Definitely.
It's Christmas come early in a way for jumps racing fans. And then if that wasn't enough for you, straight after that, the beginner's chase, Fernie Hollow, who's a really exciting prospect. He's probably one of the most exciting on the circuit to not really come and show us what he can do yet in full. And he makes his chase debut. Patrick takes the ride there and he's in your 10 to follow. So you'll be hoping for a win all round, I imagine.
Yeah, I think Fernie Hollow and what he's shown at home so far, his schooling has been very good. Cheltenham bumper winner where he beat Appreciate It, went on and beat Bob Ollinger in his maiden hurdle. That form is just so solid with him looking good. He's the best part of a year off the track, but I think in what he's shown schooling at home, this should be a stepping stone towards possibly the Grade 1 at Christmas. It'll either be Leopardstown or Limerick. Should be hopefully a straightforward task for Fernie Hollow.
Excellent. Have you been able to sit on him at home personally and school him?
David Casey usually rides him. He doesn't want to let anybody else on him. So I'm not sure even if Patrick will be allowed on him beforehand. But I've followed him down the strip and gone beside him a few times, and he looks to be fairly professional in what he does.
Excellent. Really exciting prospects. And then race 7 at Punchestown on Sunday, Recite a Prayer. Won a beginner's chase for you at Tramore last time.
Yeah, won nicely in Tramore, and he's a massive horse who really should appreciate going on much more of a galloping track. Tramore's chase track, it's quite a tight circuit, maybe 7 furlongs around. So to have big fences and room to stride and gallop, I think he should see more of what Recite a Prayer can produce. And while his hurdles form is quite disappointing, I was impressed with him down in Tramore for what he done on such a tight track. Hopefully off 123 here, he has a lively chance in this stay in handicap chase.
Excellent stuff. And then we can't let you go without speaking about Cork on Sunday. Obviously, a lot of Team Mullins runners are there and some of the big names as well. I'll start with Kilcrut, who makes his hurdle debut. And again, is another one of these exciting ones that can still be anything.
Yeah, definitely. He makes his debut over hurdles here. Patrick schooled him a few mornings and he's really been excited the way he jumps. And, you'd like to think it should be a case of turning up, popping around, and lead on to Christmas to see where he'll find his next task. But he's probably going to be long odds on down there, and not much point really getting stuck into that. Just watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. And then in the Mayor's Novice Chase, Concertista, obviously a festival winner in Dolcita as well, and another one in there for Willie. But that looks to be a nice race and get their season started.
Yeah, definitely. Concertista and Dulcisa are two of the three Mullins runners. Concertista first run over fences. She's been schooling well at home. Just touched off in the Mayor's hurdle in Cheltenham last year. Has won the Mayor's novice before that. She's a high class mare. But I wonder, with the experience, is Robina the one to side with? Just didn't quite get home in Galway over 2-2 on soft ground the last day. She's had 4 runs over fences already. Cork takes a good bit of jumping, and while she mightn't have the engine the likes of Concertista has, I think Robina could be one to use her experience and have a good chance of winning this. Can't forget about Magical Days, Henry de Bromhead's mare, who won well in Cork the last day, but the strong bit of form for me was when she was third in Galway behind Noble Yates. Seemed to give a blow that day, but Gabbianaco was 8 lengths in front of her. That was fair solid form. Gabbianaco was just touched off in the Drimmore last weekend. I think she's the one that's most likely to give Robina something to think about, but I'd stick with Robina's experience here.
Brilliant stuff. And the last one I wanted to mention really was the Hilly Way, Energamine and Cashback going that for the Mullins team, and Energamine's probably the bigger of the two in terms of profile ones going into that.
Yeah, definitely. What he done last year, he was class. He has so much ability, jumps great. It was very unfortunate that he missed Cheltenham last year. He would have really got to put a stamp on his authority in the 2-mile novice chase division, but he came back to Punchestown and bolted up again. I suppose it's a little bit like the Tingle Creek on Saturday. He hasn't got that fitness edge where Notebook was good around Navan 3 or 4 weeks ago. And Drasso, while he's maybe needs to improve a good bit to be in the league of even Notebook or Energamine, he's got a lot of fitness on his side as well and jumps great. Cashback, he was disappointing last year. He's fell his last 3 runs, but his last fall was going to be a second to Chacun Poursois in this race last year. He's not out of it. It could be a place chance. He was only a half length behind Notebook in an Irish Arkle as a novice. You can't rule him out, but all eyes on Energamine, even without the run under his belt. I think he's the class horse in the race and should account for these.
And how do you compare Energamine with Chacun Poursois, who is the sort of one that you would have a leaning towards? There's every chance they could end up meeting in the champion chase, but I imagine they'll probably be kept apart as much as possible until then.
You'd imagine so. I suppose on what they've done so far, you'd have to side with Chacun Poursois, but Energamine, he's all potential. There's nothing to say Energamine can't go and do what Chacun Poursois has done, but the fact that Chacun has already done it, Cheltenham didn't happen for him last year, but that wasn't his true run, and you've seen him come back in Punchestown. It's a very, very much a 50-50 call between the two horses, but watch them both over the weekend and see what happens. It'll be interesting to see how Willie keeps them apart and watch their path towards Cheltenham.
Definitely, it's going to be a brilliant weekend, Danny. Best of luck with all your rides across the weekend. We'll be watching them closely, and hopefully another Grade 1 winner for you.
Fingers crossed. We'll be doing our best.